Alright guys, we're back. We got the New Zealand dollar versus the Canadian dollar in what seems to be one of the most remarkably fascinating technical situation. And a couple of days ago I pulled the trigger here and re-established a bullish position. I was heavily involved with the New Zealand versus the Canadian before everything started here when price, back at September 2018, price began to change direction. I think this moment here on the bottom, this was the event that was signaling the end of a very long downside trend. Price came from above, and at that point I believe it shifted from a downside trend into an upside trend, and the first part of it was very smooth and strong, right? Straight to the middle of the middle section. However, at some point it started to drop, right, and correct that upside move. Now that downside correction lasted quite some time. Now, and I noticed that there was a very, very important key level, 0.9070, right? This blue dotted line that I figured out could be my main point of reference to try and gauge the end of this downside correction, because what I have in mind is to come back right in and re-establish that bullish position, because from the symmetric setup point of view, we're still missing a whole segment all the way to the higher section, right? Eventually price should come back to the higher section, starting with this key level here, 9407. Now I want to take you to the monthly chart and show you this key level that I was just talking about, 9070. I think it was just broken. But it was not only broken by the weekly bar. By the way, a couple of weeks ago, we noticed that the weekly bar was breaking and closing above 9070. And I actually pulled the trigger, started small, but unfortunately, a couple of days ago, I had to split and take a small loss because I noticed that price was coming strongly to the downside. I didn't like that, so I got out, right? But I knew that it is more likely that I'll come back into this one because, and let me show you again, let me show you here what I mean, because I saw this remarkable reaction coming from the monthly bar, and I'm talking about last month, guys. Take a look what happened here on that particular key level that I was talking about, 9070, right? So price was trading so well below that key level at most, most of that month. Last month we're talking about January, but it came back all the way just to close right above it. Take a look at the close here, 9078. That was pretty interesting in itself, but what I was looking, what I was finding this month was mind-blowing, because it happened, it was just a replication. Seems to be just a, an exact move of what we had last month, when price was yet again trading on the downside pretty strongly for the most part of this month, right? And as you can see, slowly and gradually it grinded all the way up just to be right now above that key level. Take a look. Really remarkable stuff. And we only have 2 days to the end of the month, so I feel pretty strongly that price is going to end up yet again above 9070, but this time it's going to reverse, right? This time it's going to completely reverse to the upside, resume the original upside trend, and possibly finish that move to 9407, which is not only my price target, but it's also our primary key level, the mid-high key level. Now, let me show you a couple of things, interesting stuff actually. That 9070, every time price was trying to break that key level, we had a pretty spectacular reaction. Take a look. It started here, right? You can see it right here. Another pretty interesting reaction. You can see it right here with that spike there, right? And also right here. So every time price kind of crossed that level, it continued, right? This is an important pivotal point, no doubt. Take a look at this reaction we had here. Virtually every single time. Another one right there. Take a look. Amazing stuff. And of course, what we had in the last couple of months. So as you can see, price is hovering around my entry price level, so it's very early stages, right? We're about to end the month. It's very important that by the end of the month, in a couple of days, price will remain above 90.70, because if it's not going to be if it's not going to end above that key level, then obviously I will have to split and close this position, look for opportunities somewhere else. But for now, I got to tell you, this looks pretty promising. Let's see how this is going to play out. My stop loss level right now is at 89 spot. And if you take it to the daily chart, it's also quite interesting. You can find a very local trading range. And if you count the legs here, I believe we're looking at the 5th leg. Right? So what we had here, that little drop we had here a few days ago, I think it was a technical downside correction to the 5th leg. So I think we're still in the 5th leg, and as you know, the 5th leg has a lot of potential to reverse the move that it came from, right? So it could break that purple setup. Once we get across that 91.22, I think it would be final. Alright, that's about that for this one. That's about that for today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.